I was very competitive in after-school sports, but we were so poor that, and my parents were from Mexico. They still to this day, my dad died about 12 years ago, but they didn't speak English. My mom still doesn't speak English, so we didn't have the drive to the parents to push us into sports or academics. For us, it was get out of school, go to work type thing, find whatever type of labor job you can do to support the family. So I didn't come from parents that encouraged sports or academics. I was actually 18 years of age. I got involved in being able to get a fake ID. I used my brother's passport, birth certificate. Sorry, I used his birth certificate. I went to DMV and I went to get an identification card. They never questioned you, so I basically, came across as a 21-year-old, but I was only 18, and I got involved in the bar situation where my girlfriend, she used to tease other guys, and so it kind of got me in an altercation with a drug guy, and I was gonna fight with this guy, and then I realized that, man, I don't know if I know how to fight. So right after that, I kind of put me in a situation where I better learn how to defend myself if ever this thing happens to me again. So I started martial arts. From there, I went into the first place that would actually talk to me. It was a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Scott and a Thompson Korean martial art. So I started in 1979. I used to have this good friend of mine named Juan Alexander, and I used to be this would've, could've, should've guy. I used to say, oh, I could have beat that guy, I would've, I could've, and he finally got tired of me talking about would've, could've, should've, so he said, you know what, have you ever accomplished anything in your life? And I said, no, and then, he said, shut the F up, I'm tired of you talking, you either do something or shut up, I don't want to hear you. And so I remember that conversation. Then one of my instructors back then was Scott Coker, who was the president of Strikeforce, and he became a good friend of mine back then, even though he was my teacher, still a good friend. So, and I used to help him with the Strikeforce West Coast productions. I used to help him drive fighters to the event, and basically work the back rooms for him and stuff, and taking fighters out to the ring and taking them out, make sure I get their gloves, the whole bit. So I was a runner, and I used to pick up guys at the airport. And then one day Scott Coker says to me, I need a sparring partner for Bill Superfoot Wallace to do an exhibition. And I said, I'd do it, just chuckling. He goes, you're on. And I was joking. I wasn't serious about doing an exhibition with Superfoot. I was like, that guy's going to kill me. So I was about to tell Coker that no, I was only joking, but I remembered my friend's words, would've, could've, should've. So I said, oh, I'll do it. So that's how it started. I went in with Superfoot. Superfoot made me look good. So he made it look like I've had over 10 fights of experience, and from there, it came that I better do something just to see how far I can go. At the earlier stage when the first UFCs came out, it was all about being involved in whose style is better, and kind of like the freak show type. Everybody wants to see the style in the freak show, and now it's become a high level professionalism of a sport. So high level athletes are coming from all walks of disciplines, whether it be basketball, a football player, a baseball player, they're coming into this sport. And also you're getting kids coming, from when they're young, 10, 12 years old, aspiring to be an MMA fighter, not a football player, not a basketball player. So we're seeing the changes now in the kids. Most kids back then didn't want to aspire to be boxers. It was mostly out of poverty and need. So it's different with MMA fighters. You got these kids that are in education, because a lot of the successful fighters in MMA have a college education. The majority of them do. There's a lot of ways to look for people you think can be a world champion. There's a lot of things, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, When I saw Luke Rockhold come into my establishment, I think he was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu with Claudio Franco, and he wanted to spar, and he was so anxious to spar, he didn't have a mouthpiece, so I sent him across to Target right across the street. He went over there and got a mouthpiece. He came back, and he was just so amped and ready to go. Didn't really know much about the stand-up game or anything, but his effort was unbelievable, and just the raw athletic ability and Luke Rockhold impressed me so much that I said, this kid's he's got what it takes to be a world champion. I definitely saw that in him. I saw that in BJ Penn, but BJ was already a world champion in jiu-jitsu, or a phenom already, so he already had that. So it's really not fair to say BJ Penn, because I think everybody could have pegged that, but Luke Rockhold was not someone that you could have pegged like that, because he didn't accomplish anything of that kind of significance like BJ did. Josh Thompson is the biggest reason why I got involved as the coach for the team. And the reason why I'm saying this is to come around to why this is my biggest, proudest moment is that, we started as a team way back then when Josh Thompson got me involved. And my biggest and proudest moment is the fact that we're still a team, we're still strong, and we're getting stronger. That's my proudest moment. It's not any champion, it's the fact we're still here. We're still here. It was 1997, 98, when we started all this, and we are still here. It was 96 when I took Brian Johnson into the Ultimate Fighting, and from there I didn't get involved with the team concept of Josh Thompson, so that was sometime around 99, 2000. So we're still here as a team. That's my proudest moment.